This is the iPhone 16 and this is the Samsung Galaxy S24. And I want to talk about both of them because one they're priced at the same, $799, granted if you don't count the carriers, but also that it's either you go with the iPhone 16 as the base iPhone or you go with the Samsung Galaxy S24 as the alternative, or what many like to call the iPhone of Android, which I actually think now is the Pixel. But nonetheless, let's talk about both of them, starting things off with design. They both have their own unique design, and when you see each one out in the open or out in the public, out in the wild, you know that this right here is going to be an iPhone and this right here is going to be a Samsung Galaxy. And they've both refined their designs over the years. There's no drastic differences with their design. In fact, the iPhone kind of has been retaining their design, I actually think, from the iPhone 11. Every year they just kind of refined it a little bit more and more, and now we got the iPhone 16, and it's awesome. I think it's great. So it has a 6.1-inch display. It's only 60 hertz, and while many may argue that 60 hertz is fine on iPhone, it's whatever, there are some that say, hey, it'd be great if there was 120 hertz because it's competition right here. The Galaxy S24 has 120 hertz. I'm going to get to that in a moment. It gets to max brightness of 2000 nits. It also has this aluminum frame I absolutely love, and you don't really get fingerprints here. It has this matte finish on the back right here. I really do love this ultramarine, and I think video and photos don't do it justice. You kind of have to see it in person. Apple did a really phenomenal job with the iPhone 16 colors this year, in my opinion. It's also IP68 dust and water resistant, and speakers do get pretty loud. Now, the main visual differences when compared to its predecessor are the camera layout, as well as the action button, and then the camera control button. And it's just an easier way to capture photos and videos and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's a good phone. It feels compact to hold in the hand if you're not rocking the Plus, just the regular iPhone 16. The Samsung Galaxy S24, also IP68 dust and water resistant. It has a 6.2-inch Full HD Plus dynamic AMOLED display, 120 hertz. It's adaptive refresh rate display. It's awesome. And this display gets super bright at 2600 nits of peak brightness. Also has that flat frame around it as well. Speakers also do get pretty loud. It has a triple camera setup. And honestly, this one does come down to preference. Which one would you prefer? But they feel really similar. You know, they're looking more and more alike as the years go by. I mean, I remember a couple of years back, Samsung and iPhones, they look completely different, but you know, as the years go by, they start looking more and more alike. So in the design aspect, it comes down to preference, which one you would prefer, Samsung or iPhone. When it comes to the software and the performance, this also kind of is a preference, but I'll tell you this, they're both really good. And here's why. In my experience with either iOS or Android, I've had no hiccups, no issues whatsoever. One's running iOS 18, the other is running Android 14. One has the Apple A18 chipset, one has Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So they're really optimized to work very well on a day-to-day basis. It ultimately comes down to, do you prefer iOS or do you prefer Android? Do you want 7 years of software updates, or do you want to have seamless day one updates from Apple, usually about 5 years? That may be more. Sometimes Apple does make exceptions. With this one, yeah, you'll get 7 years, but you're not getting day one. Android usually doesn't give out day one software updates. But on a day-to-day basis, whether you're going to be using it for making content, for watching content, using it for, you know, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, whatever it is, browsing the web, using it for watching YouTube videos and all that good stuff, they're both going to perform very well. In that aspect, I had no issues whatsoever. I'm not putting these through benchmark scores and all that stuff because honestly, I don't really care about it, and I don't want to talk about something that I don't really, I'm not too focused on. And also, if you guys want to check out my latest wallpaper pack right here on both of these devices, it's called Illusions 2.0. I absolutely love how it looks, and I think it looks really great on the new iPhone 16 colors as well. So links in the description down below. But yeah, I mean, performance-wise, they're both really great, and it's only going to keep getting better with the Samsung Galaxy S25 and with like the rumored Snapdragon 8 Elite. I guess it's not called 8 Gen 4, but it's called 8 Elite. So this one, I'm gonna have to call it a tie. However, things get a little bit different when we get to the cameras. So here's what I have to say about the cameras. In my use, now this may vary, but the overall photo and video results I like on the iPhone 16 more than the Galaxy S24. That does not mean the S24 takes not so good or subpar photos and videos, or the results aren't that great. They are great, but I just kind of prefer the look of the iPhone's colors on the photos and videos, and it's just more seamless and easy to use. However, if you want more versatility, you're gonna go with the camera setup on the Samsung Galaxy S24 because it comes equipped with not only just its regular wide and ultra wide, but it also comes equipped with a telephoto lens. iPhone 16 only has a wide and ultra wide, so do keep that in mind. This one, I'm going to have to give it for just overall to the iPhone because it also does have camera control, which kind of does, you know, help with using the camera app, and you get to kind of press this haptic feedback. I didn't want to talk about too much about it because I'm not, I'm not using it too much, but it does act like as a shutter button, and it actually is useful when you start, getting used to it, especially if you're going to use this to make lots of content. Then yeah, it's going to, come in real handy. But overall, just results, I think iPhone 16. Versatility though, Samsung Galaxy S24 is going to take it, at least in my opinion. Battery life, iPhone 16 has topped out in the battery life in my use. It's lasting me all day, whereas the Galaxy S24, it's like barely making it. Like I have to charge it by the end of the day. It comes equipped with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and Apple usually doesn't disclose their battery capacity, but I guess it has a slightly larger one than last year. But it also does get up to 45 watts of wired charging and 25 watts of MagSafe charging, which I appreciate because I use MagSafe quite often. Whereas the S24 doesn't even have 45 watts of wired. It has 25 watts of what they call fast charging, and that's wired. I mean, it's not that fast. So I think the battery easily for me has been better with the iPhone 16. And I do want to, touch base on the price. They are both priced at $799, albeit $829 if you go unlocked with the iPhone 16 here in the US, but $799 for 128 gig starting storage. And look, they both offer amazing specs for what they are. And I'll tell you this, each one, I think, offers 85-90% of what their Pro or Samsung's Ultra older brothers have to offer. So if you're not looking for the best of the best in terms of cameras and hardware and all that good stuff, you're gonna go with either the iPhone 16 or the Samsung Galaxy S24. These types of videos usually come down to a preference. Which one would you prefer? Now I'm gonna ask myself that question. Which one would I prefer on just a daily? Honestly, it's probably going to go to the iPhone 16. And the reason why is, one, I love Android. My main device has always been an Android device. So that's just putting it out there. But the reason why is, one, it has better battery life, and two, I've been using the camera much more often, especially for making content. So that has kind of slowly started to become an important factor for me. So I'm gonna have to use it with the camera. I can get away with not having 120 hertz. I can get away with not having super thin bezels and not being more kind of up to date and feeling more modern. That's completely okay. For me, like, battery life is a very key factor. And if this is gonna outperform the S24, I'm gonna have to choose it. But again, it ultimately comes down to you. You gotta ask yourself that question. Which part of the phone is most important to you? Do you care more about the camera than the battery life, or do you care about having iOS rather than having Android and running Samsung's One UI? You have to ask yourself these types of questions. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't take this as like a versus and see which one comes out on the end. I just wanted to share with you guys what I see between both of them. If you did enjoy, definitely be sure to superman that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel out a lot. Will help push my content out to more people. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.